So, Uffe Nielsen, hello. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm well.
Sir.
How are you doing?
Fantastic. We're here at GM. So, Uffe, tell us a little bit. What did you bring? What are the novelties that you bring to the label, digital label market? Tell me something more about it.
Well, we can do all in finishing. So, Xeikon does the print, and we do the finishing. And what we like to do is to raise the value of the product. A good example is, for example, this beer can. It has traveled with me for a while.
I can see.
But
yeah.
you can see here it's not only a label, but there is actually a multi-layer. So there's a story about the product inside the label. Another example is digital varnish here, where you can see the varnish that stands out. Conventional finishing would have a screen and a lot of analog tools, but this is actually printed digitally on demand. So this is a great saver of both the consumption of ink, but also the setup time is reduced because you basically load a PDF file where you want the digital varnish, and off you go.
Right. So obviously, I mean, GM is well known for its converting machines. You told me earlier OEMs as well as your own development, of course. Within that digital printing environment, as you say, well, you have obviously the fact that this is after the printing that you're putting on some embellishment. So how come that you are doing this as a GM brand? So is this something specific that you have developed yourself? I guess this is inkjet technology?
It's inkjet technology, so we have developed a one-color inkjet system on our own. We would never develop a full-color press, of course, that's not our game, but everything that can raise the value of digitally printed labels or digitally printed flexibles, that's our game. So we go in and say, what's coming out of the digital press? What can we do to raise the value of that product? Because in today's market, everybody can get a digital press, they can pay a lease and print a label, but that makes the competition harder. If you want to stand out and really make some money in this market, then you must be able to raise the value of the labels of your products.
Yes, when you were talking earlier about this beer can,
yes.
I mean, I was really surprised because, as you were saying, in this case, it's also digital print with dry toner, right? And on this, explain us a little bit. This obviously is metallized substrate, and then what is actually on here on the inside of the beer can, because you have to peel open the label, right?
It's a tricky construction, but the key about this is that it's all printed digitally. Conventionally, you would print this on a flexo press and you would have a lot of waste if you did a short run. So the trick here is that you actually print digitally on a clear material in reverse. That's what's creating the inner side. And then you laminate a top side that is a metallic on the top. And you laminate the two together, then you actually have a construction of a metallic and a clear material. The clear material is printed in the reverse. That generates the back side. The top material here is printed on the front, that generates the front side, and the metallic effects is due to semi-transparent colors on a metallic.
Right, and then you overprint it. Yeah.
Then we overprint it, and the back side here, the back label here is a digitally printed label again, where we over varnish with a silicon-based varnish, so you can get this peel and release effect. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So, as you were saying, and that also intrigues me a little bit, that nowadays, the last couple of months or year or more, I mean, everybody's talking about raising the value, you know, and shorter runs, and well, in that label market, that means shorter runs. You basically have to really look to digital printing processes. So, and in that case, as you were saying, if you have to do this in an analog way, I mean, the run length is too high to justify for all of the costs. So maybe one last question: if you are developing these kind of solutions within GM, how long beforehand do you study this, or how do you get the information on what will be the next hot thing?
On a strategic level, we try to have a horizon of 3 years. So we look what is trending, and we have a very good cooperation with the actual printers. So we're out in the print shops looking at what are their problems. what value adders do they have and how long time does it take to actually produce these value adders. As an example here, the beer can was produced by a client on a flexo press with a tremendous waste, and he had to have very trained operators. So he would like to have a digital operator that requires less skills compared to a flexo printer to do the same job, and also be able to have a very short run capability. In today's market with very big constraints on substrates, it's also an advantage that you have a product where you can, technology where you can actually make a really short run. Nobody today is interested in a long shelf life of a product.
Absolutely, and especially within beverages, for example, wine, beers, you also have the trend that they are doing small runs of specialties, for example. So just to get a little info on this one, what would be an average run on this type of
This one would be an average run between 1,000 and 5,000 cans.
Okay.
But it could be just 100. If it's a promotional product, the client is willing to pay a lot more for the label. But if it is a microbrewery, you need to get up in volume. But this was never intended to be a Coca-Cola. Never the idea here. Yeah. So it's a short-run digital product. That's the idea of the product.
Okay, so if you're looking for to add value to some specific products, because you also do like bespoke machines on if somebody needs something special. So no, fantastic to see, and congratulations on the results. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.